has now signed up with a new talent agency. And I'm just wondering, is that to start stealing the headlines from the coronation next week? Because it's curious timing that she should have gone out there looking for more PR.
The announcement of it is very conspicuous timing with just a week to the coronation. But I will say, I give credit to Meghan Markle for making this choice. Because I cannot tell you how many times I have been discussing the royals, I've been corresponding on it, and I keep saying, I don't know who is managing Harry and Meghan, because clearly they are out of their depth and it feels like amateur hour. There are so many choices that someone with a basic knowledge of PR on the level that they are at would say, don't do that. And so signing with WME is a great thing, because she's now got a powerhouse behind the Harry and Meghan brand and Archwell, their foundation. And most importantly, there's a certain man on the team called Ari Emanuel. He's the CEO of Endeavor, talent manager. And he deals with a kind of client list that includes Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Serena Williams. But to put it in perspective for those who don't know him, if you think back to before his fall from grace, Max Clifford, at the height of his abilities, he was exceptional at his job. Any celebrity in trouble wanted him because he was a fixer, he was a strategist, and he had a black book that political campaign managers would be envious of. Ari Emanuel is like Max Clifford on steroids. You have him in your camp, you sleep easier at night. And from the blunders, the PR catastrophes that Harry and Meghan have had to deal with thus far, had they had Ari Emanuel with them from the beginning, the narrative of Harry and Meghan's exodus from royal duties might have been.
So, Judita, you're saying that they've crashed around and not knowing what they've done, rather than what we've seen is that she has known what she's doing and they've been stealing the limelight.
I think it's how do I explain? They're like box office gold. Whatever they do makes a 24-hour news cycle. They've got to manage how they use that platform, which they cannot escape. Meghan had an awareness of fame on a very different level prior to being in a relationship with Harry, and what has passed since then. It's not so much her wanting to steal headlines. She's going to get them. But what kind needs to be managed? That's why WME will help. I think she's damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. And she has to accept that. And the level that you're operating at now, you cannot afford to be led by emotion. You've got to be led by wisdom and solid advice.
But Harry must have known what he was doing, and it seemed to be unfortunate timing when he came through with the court case and delivered his 31-page submission there, and what he put in there, all what would be seeing breaches of confidentiality with his family. So what's he doing? He must know these things, and he's had royal connections. He's had this all his life. He shouldn't be making those faux pas.
Yes, I do agree with you to a point, because there's two levels to what I believe Harry is doing. One is he's going scorched earth because he is so deeply wounded. Because remember, before we all analyze things, they're a family. There is love there. There is hurt there. There are broken hearts there. And those are feelings. And like I said before, Harry and Meghan tend to lead with emotion instead of wisdom, which is blown up in their face. The timing of this is not good. But again, they haven't had the best people advising them prior to this time. And you know how the saying goes, I think some pundits have used it, that if a child doesn't feel the warmth of the village, they will burn the village to the ground to feel the warmth of the flames. Harry's doing that. And I think it comes from someone who's deeply hurt, deeply broken, and desperately trying to find a way to assert himself as an independent being while still getting the attention of a family that he is estranged from.
I also thought it was interesting that Kate is the most popular royal, and I wondered whether Meghan was getting extra PR so that she could compete, because they always seem to have a bit of competition going there. She was actually competing with Kate for the top spot.
I think when they were still in England, that definitely was a subliminal competition between the two of them. Beautiful to capture on camera, pleasant to be around. There was definitely a competition. Now, Meghan's playing field is America, Kate's is Britain. And I believe that why Kate has kind of come ahead of the pack is because she has absorbed and imbibed traits that British people like to see in royals, where she's pious, she's dutiful, she brings no drama, she's not problematic. When you see her, when you talk to her, she's personable. British people resonate more with someone who shows their humanity and their empathy and they feel they can connect with, as opposed to someone who just presents with all the trappings of being royal. And when you look at that poll of popularity, after William, Kate, and the grandchildren, it's Princess Anne. There's something about the bloodline in that family that makes formidable women, from the Queen Mother to Queen Elizabeth to Margaret to Princess Anne, and we've even seen it in Little Princess Charlotte. They know how to focus on duty above all else. And
Well,
if
Judita,
the same people were polled, I believe that they would prefer a Queen Anne to a King Charles.